Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. Today's episode is going to be a special one called Old Dirty Origin.
What this is a little one that you threw together, just talking about us, getting to know us a little bit better, how we all met from school, and
yeah, a little bit of a throwback, a kickback, going way back.
Right.
It's just how it all came together.
the roots.
Yep, pretty much. This is just basically like a freestyle almost, but we're going to talk a little bit in the beginning, obviously, and then at the end, I'll throw together a little montage of some unreleased footage that you guys definitely should enjoy. A little behind-the-scenes stuff. So,
Director's cut,
as it may. Yeah.
So sit back, relax.
Yeah, sit back, relax. But we hope you're enjoying the podcast. We'll be back next week with brand new true crime and a vintage cinema review, as always. And sit back, relax, and enjoy Old Dirty Origin.
Interesting, most interesting. It isn't every night that we come up with a brand new infection, is it, Parsons?
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah.
We're here. I think we're trying something new.
Yeah.
Dave had a little idea about I guess, getting to know us.
Mm-hmm.
And allowing all of you to get to know us.
Right.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so I'm going to call this the Old Dirty Origin. Let's just say something like that.
Old dirty orgasm?
Old Dirty Origin.
Origin.
Orgasm. No.
And not the old dirty orgy either.
No, but we just thought, you guys probably been listening. Some of you obviously know us. A lot of you don't. So we thought maybe we'd tell you a little bit about ourselves, kind of our story, how we met, and all the way into like the podcast and where that kind of started. So that music you heard in the beginning is actually was going to be our theme song.
I think so.
It was one of the ones we are going to use, and that's from like one of our first recordings, which we'll play a little bit of that, some of the behind the scenes stuff that never made it on air. I'm going to get some stuff from Zap. He had stuff he was working on, and kind of the genesis of all this. So, at any rate, Matt and Zap.
There's a lot of words going back to like Avengers movies in this one. We got Origins.
Origin and
what was the other one you just used?
I don't know. Which other one?
Said Origin. It starts with an A. I don't know.
Ampersand.
Yes. Thank you.
So I guess Matt and Zap, you guys knew each other first. So why don't you tell a little bit about how you guys met?
I think I was a friend of John's good friend in the High Spire area.
Yeah. And actually, fun fact, Matt, I have a picture of you from we were, little. I want to say like kindergarten, first grade.
That's way back.
It goes way back, but we were at a neighborhood kids party.
I think it might have been David.
Correct.
David.
It would have been David's party. Have I shown you that picture recently?
No.
All right. So it would have been that.
Who was your cousin that I didn't know was your cousin for the longest time?
Or that his mom was your teacher.
Yeah, very true.
Or I'm sorry, that his mom was my aunt.
Yes, yes, the aunt.
But so that so that but that was like, in passing. That was like just two ships passing in the night. And then years go by. And if
I'd say fourth or fifth grade.
Did you guys go to the same grade school or no?
So we went to different schools, and so as we all came up in Catholic schools, right? So, which we'll end up touching on again,
right?
Matt went to one way down, and I went to one the other direction,
South End.
Yeah,
which when you guys were that young seemed like worlds apart, but actually
it's
a travel time
7-minute drive,
not that far, right?
So between my cousin and maybe, Matt hanging around at the High Spire pool or hanging around with my cousin or Matt eventually at some point hanging out, outside of school with another mutual friend of ours.
Who was ironically my first friend.
Interesting.
The Colonel?
Yes, kindergarten.
Okay.
That's more like the Zap, Blah triangle.
Right.
Zap, blah.
Just back real quick before we go any further. He used your first name. You cool with that? Because everybody knows you as Zap on the air.
When did I say first name?
When we first started talking. I just want to make sure he's cool.
I don't care.
So listeners, his first name is John. and we just call him Zap.
And my favorite color is green.
Yes.
I like long walks and short stories.
And he's wearing an Eagles sweatshirt, so I'm assuming.
My name's Matt.
He's an Eagles fan, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys kind of met then.
Actually, no, I'm a Chicago Bears fan.
Are you a Bears fan?
Yeah.
Nice.
This
like
was
Clark.
This was a gift.
Yeah.
Like Clark.
Your dad. Who
Clark
was the Chicago? Because I remember you used to have like a Blackhawks.
Yeah, so I was born in Chicago. I lived
there you go.
1 year and moved here at the age of 1.
Oh, wow. So you have a connection there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's on my my mom came up there.
Okay.
So that's that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, getting the train back on the track. As years go on and as time goes on, kids are hanging around the neighborhood. Just think of Matt. Sorry. Yeah. Think of Matt coming from.
Yeah, Matt's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Just think of Matt coming from the an eastern direction, and I'm coming from a western direction, and we meet somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. And we have common friends against some family here and there.
It was an 11-minute bike ride for me. I went down a hill,
to get to his house?
Right turn, down a hill. No, to get to our mutual meeting ground.
The middle ground.
The middle ground. Okay.
Then a right past the Turkey Hill and about a minute and a half to the left.
There you go.
One thing, I don't know if you can clear it up for me. In a previous podcast, and maybe this goes back to your friendship, you talked about hanging out in the woods, hiding out in the woods. Is there a story behind that? Because I could never.
There was a Billy's Trails that we used to hang out in.
No, during the podcast, there was a story about.
This has to do with that thing we were talking about earlier with that guy.
Oh, okay.
That it has to do with that.
Okay.
So, no, this has nothing to do with
childhood stuff.
Nothing to do with that.
Okay.
No.
So,
childhood was hanging out with. We used to steal caps off of Big Rigs. There was like what was that place? A park.
So in Highspire,
we used to like collect these caps. It'd be like this long, full of caps that they put on.
These are so.
You talking about valve stem caps?
Valve stem caps.
Yes, valve stem.
It was like a thing.
So we called them chromies, which were chrome caps. They're chrome valve stem covers. Mm-hmm. And if you got really lucky, you would find a valve stem cover with an extension on it and a chrome cap.
Okay.
I mean, that was awesome. So in Highspire, there was what was called the fields, but it was really just huge amounts of parking places for big rigs.
Okay.
Or at least for their trailers. They would just steal their trailers there. And we would run around up and down through these things, and they had security driving around, like, dudes in trucks.
Right.
So we would hide and duck and do all kinds of shit. Anyway, we would run around and we would look at every one of these goddamn wheels and see how many of these caps we could take. And I mean, hundreds.
Wow. Life of crime.
Life of crime.
Life of crime. Look at you guys.
This is street urchins of Highspire and Middletown.
Middletown, yeah.
Okay.
So that was that. But so as time goes on, you start getting into those later years of grade school. And grade school for us in Catholic school is kindergarten through 8th grade.
8th grade, right.
I think there was a point at which Matt and I and a friend of ours who is now dead, and another friend of ours, we were at this third guy's house. So 4 people were sleeping over at his house. This is grade school.
Right.
I remember this one quite vividly because as we were all laying there trying to go to sleep up in the guy's room, there was a dustbuster up there, and Matt. So he would, as we're all laying there, because the guy at the guy's house we were sleeping, there was because it's his room, like he gets to be the one in control, right? So he's like, guys, you got to shut the fuck up, man. Let's go to bed. Let's go to bed.
It's past 10 o'clock or something.
So
shit like that.
As a few minutes would go by and it's just silence, Matt would just ever so delicately tap the dustbuster activation button, and it was just.
But it was even lower than that. I was like,
yeah,
it was somewhere.
So ever so slight, and it would piss this guy off so much. He ended up taking the dustbuster out of the room, completely out of the room.
What a baby.
After that, before high school, there was I want to say an 8th grade dance at the Highspire Firemen's. At the Highspire Fire Hall. Mm-hmm. That was for. We'll leave her initials at JD. Yeah, we'll leave her initials at JD. But there was a girl that I met there who you ended up dating in high school.
Okay.
Wow. circle just keeps
it's growing.
going and going.
Yeah. So I met a girl there that you ended up dating in high school. Now, listen, this is grade school. This is 8th grade. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do my best to try to keep up with you. You know what I mean? Like, you try to make phone calls as much as you can, or you'll send like a letter, like a little love note here or there.
Right.
But what are you going to do in 8th grade?
Right.
Now, to be clear,
Steal shit.
this is 1990.
Right.
So things have changed greatly 32 years later.
Oh, absolutely.
So maybe kids are doing some wild ass shit in 8th grade. I know that I wasn't. I would, wanted to be cool and whatever, but whatever.
Right.
So as grade school ends, Matt and I ended up going to the same high school as you, Dave.
Correct.
So Matt and I already knew each other well going in, and everybody's all buddy.
Right.
And it's I'm not sure exactly how it works in the public school system, but I think all of these kids are together
1st through 5th?
The whole time. There might be a couple of feeder schools here and there, but ultimately somehow everybody knows everybody. In Catholic schools, you can have a dozen schools that these kids never met one another.
And dumped into the high school.
And it's just this huge, big, into the bucket, everybody, here we go.
And then when you come from a smaller school where you got 8 kids in your class compared to a school that has 60 kids coming into the school, you kind of like stick with your little group for a while, or the people that you know. And then you kind of like, grow some wings, expand. But the first couple months, I think, are hard.
Of course. You're going to stay close with the people you know.
Yeah.
And then, as Matt absolutely said, you're going to ever so slightly just dip your toes in the pool. Just dipping. Just
The
trying.
high spiral pool.
So I went to school, Catholic school in the city of Harrisburg. And I had, like you said, I got to high school. And basically, I had the same friends I had in grade school, but then playing football. Did you play our freshman year?
No, I missed.
Okay.
I missed
Sophomore.
freshman year because I didn't know how or
to
what
sign up
it
or
was
what to
out.
do.
I didn't know
Okay.
anything the hell about it.
Right.
Nothing at all about
Because
it.
I couldn't remember for sure. I remember Matt and I met at that's where I met Matt, was that summer of freshman year going
One of our
in.
practices,
Yeah, one of our
Triple days or whatever.
right.
Yep.
And we had met and kind of hit it off, and we had
Do you remember that though? Like how it was?
Oh yeah, like the what do you mean, like the workouts and stuff?
No. Like
I was like,
no. I was over I was really into Saturday Night Live at the time.
Oh,
I did
okay,
a lot
yeah.
of like jokes. I was
Right.
always like thinking I'm funny doing like these jokes, Saturday Night Live stuff.
You
that I
keep
used to-
thinking that.
Well, exactly. But there was like a kid over there, and like the guy, like people were laughing over at that side. I was like, man, what are people laughing at over there? I'm being funny over here. It's
Right.
like over there, it was Dave. Like you were saying some stuff, and I was like, oh, was that the one they had on like a couple weeks ago or something? Like it was something that just happened that week or that weekend
on SNL.
on SNL, and you were like doing an imitation or something like that.
That's probably.
And I was
what
like,
it
yeah, this dude's funny. I was like, check this one out. And like we started doing like imitations and shit. And I was like, yeah,
Imitations
this guy's all right. That's kind of funny.
You guys became two peas in a fucking pod.
Well,
something like
we
that.
hit it off pretty much right away. I remember, and we went to Hershey Park. We had Hershey Park passes, and it was like that summer. And I remember we were walking around the park, and Madonna was on tour, and there were two girls, cute girls, walking around the park with Blonde Ambition tour T-shirts on. I'll
Wait,
never forget that.
this is summer going into freshman year.
Correct.
So
Yes.
you had basically met a month or so before school started.
Correct.
Around there, yeah.
Probably around. It would have been like maybe
August,
June,
I think,
July,
end of August or
something
beginning
like
of August,
Would have
and
been
then
around that time.
yeah.
And pretty much through football, playing sports up there, or any high school, I think it opens up. You kind of meet people through sports, and that's kind of how we met. And then I of course had friends that, like you were talking about, from grade school and stuff like that. But we all kind of ended up feeding into the same high school. And I know Zap. So it was sophomore year that you started on the football team and all that.
I definitely started then, but I think by then, the three of us had to have at least something together.
Oh yeah, because
some kind of class, even if it was lunch, for Christ's sake. There was at least some kind of period that, so I already knew Matt very well.
Mhm.
I know for damn sure, and it's the one joy that I will forever cherish and carry with me, that my high school experience was so tremendous, right?
Mhm.
It was so good. Like we spoke about this ever so slightly in the Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
So
right.
it's what we've been speaking about now, or just recently, that you feel so awkward. You're coming into your own. So you're coming into puberty, right, and all of that kind of shit, and your life's changing, and you're all of this. Everything is happening. Everything's coming at you at so many different angles. You want to belong, but you still want to be yourself. You still want to, portray yourself as this, but at the same time, you don't want to be an asshole, or you don't want to be a weirdo. So
You're trying to find your niche.
McDevitt was and remains just the perfect place that everybody gets along, and it was that they will drill it into your head, and I firmly believe it. It's like it's more like a family. Like you feel more like family there.
We were talking high schools at the time that had 600 kids to where we were at like 140, 100
in our class.
in our
in our class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was a
But I'm
small
saying,
class.
like, so you got to know each other, like you said, through classes, through lunch, through whatever. Just get to know different people quickly. And it was
I know, like
a good experience.
For me, like pretty much, and I don't know if you guys agree, like I looking through the yearbook, and like Zap brought over, because I don't have mine anymore, but he brought it, and I was looking through the yearbook, and I pretty much remember almost everybody looking at the picture. Whereas I know, like, my wife will say, because of the size of her school, which was a public school, there's people she didn't even know in high school because they're so big. But
You don't even know.
you don't even know,
Oh my
right? But yeah, so but our but our high school was very tight knit, like you said, and it was.
I'm sorry, Matt's was just so great. Oh my God.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
It's an inside reference, but yeah. So our high school was very much tight knit, and definitely a great experience. And that's kind of where the three of us, kind of met.
Yeah. And so then, I guess,
Yeah, throughout life, I guess we all stayed in touch here or there. Like
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Every unions
times
and stuff
where-
like
yeah.
that. I would see, like Zap and I haven't seen Zap in years. Probably at the reunions and stuff like that. I know you guys kept in touch, but I would hear through Matt like, "Oh, how Zap's doing," and our other buddy that moved away, and we all kind of keep in touch.
Or even
base.
every so often with Zap and I, there was times where we just had periods of like not seeing each other. Then you would get
life happens, and you just
then you
kind
would
of
see each other here, like, hey, like a concert or something's coming up. Like, are you guys going? Like this and that. Like you meet again. There was a time for a while, like I didn't see much of you because you know, having a family, having kids. Like we get older, we do different things. But then as we got older, things start quieting down. We all seem to find a way back and hang out.
I think it's a testament to great friendships where you can pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
right.
Like immediately.
Right.
It's like nothing ever happened.
Right. So fast forward here later in life, we all went to high school, and it seems like yesterday that we were in high school, but we've
I
been out
know
quite
for
a while.
damn sure. I know for damn sure football brought the three of us together a hell of a lot more than like just hanging out in classes and doing whatever.
Absolutely.
That's going to bring, I think, anybody together.
Because
right?
you're going through the tribulations
Well,
together.
yeah, common cause, same team, same good stuff.
Teamwork, guys.
Yeah,
It's teamwork.
And the story about you two that I'll never forget. And I don't know if you guys remember this.
How are we not going to know a story about us?
If it's about us, I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, we were on the bus, and back then the jerseys would have, you could pull out the little, in the numbers. Picture the numbers are ironed onto which I know they're not. They're pressed onto the shirt.
It's latex.
Latex.
They're latex. It's this latex paint that you can just imagine in your head that there's a template there and somebody's with a something just putting
Do you know
it on.
where I'm going with this though?
Maybe.
Right. So on the, I guess we were maybe in a,
I remember pulling out the little thing.
Yeah, the little things.
and spelling out your names.
Yes.
Zap, and in the number, and the coach
Well, I
calling
can't
you
even
guys
say,
out.
Yeah.
On the bus. So basically, these two were in the back. We were riding back from a game. I think maybe in 10th. Maybe we dressed varsity like 10th grade or something.
Maybe.
I know we were definitely underclassmen, and I remember both of you, peeling out and spelling your names in the number, basically.
Pulling out the holes
and spelling the names, and the coach flipped out.
Oh, gosh,
and went nuts. Like, what are you two doing? You can't defend.
This is our jerseys, baby. It's not your own.
Right. And I also remember coming back from a game as an underclassman, and Matt starting to chant. At the time, there's a big song called OPP. Everybody knows Naughty by Nature. And Matt starts singing, "You down with no PT?" Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. No playing time.
No playing time.
Yes, that would be no PT.
So,
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff, and just on the buses and the games and the practices and stuff, definitely brings you a lot closer together. Because you're spending so much time together.
Sure.
And
then you go to parties and you're
Right.
doing whatever, throwing some beers back, smoking the reefer,
Right.
chasing the tail.
All that good stuff.
Then life just catches up with you, and
Right.
yeah, back to reality.
But that seems like I said, seems like yesterday, but it was a long, long time ago. But here later in life, Matt becomes my neighbor. We end up living three doors down.
Three doors down. That's
Like
actually a band.
Is
yeah.
it a band? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously here later in life, we both have, we have families and other stuff like that. We still hang out when we can. And we were at a party. And now we're going to fast forward to kind of the genesis of the podcast for where this kind of started.
Origin, Genesis.
That's what it
and,
was.
yes,
Origin and Genesis, where we kind of went.
Avenger movies.
We were at a
Wait,
St.
there was no Avenger Genesis.
Wasn't there?
No. There was a Hyundai Genesis.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
That's what I thought you said. Never mind.
Thor.
Yeah.
So we were at our lawyer, JW, the guy that comes on here. He's our lawyer. He
answers our lawyer needs.
Yes. Every year he hosts a St. Patty's Day party that they do, and his lovely wife, Amy, they host it. And Matt and I were there having drinks and kind of rolling around the party.
We were rather drunk and just bullshitting.
And somehow we were talking to somebody about, I forget what we were even talking about. Maybe it was about Christian Leitner, I think it was. Somehow got on that subject of...
Oh, it was our friend Bill's wife.
Bill's wife, yeah.
Lovely Bill's wife.
Right. And we were kind of talking, joking around and having a good time and stuff. And I made a comment, I think, about like, we should just do a podcast. This would be like a great podcast. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'd come on or whatever, this and that. And then it kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, well...
I think at first it was based around like sports concept or something like that. Like we're going to have sports people. I don't know what. I mean, I don't remember.
We were drunk.
Yeah.
And that actually, we were leaving that night. I was going to a concert down in Philly. And I went down there, and the whole way driving down, we went down as my whole family went. I was thinking about it. And I was like, I'm going to do this. Why not? I'm going to do this. So I called Matt the next day. I was like, hey, I know we were joking around, but would you really do that? And he was like, are you for real? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, but you need to let me know. Like, are you down with this for sure? You know, I said, because I got to get the equipment and do all that. And, you know, he talked over with his wife, and we decided to go ahead and move forward with it. So I know at that time he was in conversations with you as we were starting it, I guess, and putting out the trailer. And you kind of had your own thing cooking, and you were...
Yeah, I don't know how I got back in contact with you. What happened? Like, I seen you somewhere, and I was like, shit, I think that would be good at something like this, or...
I might have seen you someplace rando. I don't know.
Yeah, it was random where, somewhere.
But a couple of weeks went by, and so I go hiking and camping at least twice a year, like a good length hike and camping trip. And I couldn't make this one. And this was off schedule, right? It was just some rando time, like, hey, man, can you come? I can't make it.
He was also with some buddies from high school while we're talking about high school.
Okay.
That's how we're
That's right.
tied that together.
I hike and camp with these two guys that, you know, we all went to high school.
Friends.
Right.
So the one guy who was kind of a last-minute add-on, who was not part of the core group. There's a core group of four of us. Mm-hmm. This was like this fifth guy who's a cousin of one of the four of us. He went out basically solo, but he picked up a friend of his to take. And that friend of his, I swear to God, is a spitting image, mirror image, at least in my mind, of Matt.
Okay.
Like, these two look like exactly alike.
He must have been uber handsome.
Yeah.
So I send Matt a quick little text message. You know,
that's what it was.
Like, hey, man, were you camping? Like, were you out camping this weekend?
I said, oh, hell's no.
With this guy, he was like, no, man, I wasn't fucking camping. So we were just bullshitting back and forth. Somehow, some way, the topic of podcast came up. Mm-hmm. And, you know, hey, man, what have you been up to? What are you doing? Oh, well, you know, me and Dave are working on this. Or, you know, we're going to be starting this. I was like, oh, really? That's cool. How coincidental. A buddy of mine and I, who is actually one of the four of us who go camping, hiking and camping, he and I were tossing around the idea, and I'd still like to do it, of doing a podcast with local businessmen, business persons, whatever, to get PC for Disney's sake.
Right.
For Disney's sake.
Disney's sake.
Like that.
We would want to go to varying businesses and just like sit down, or even actually have it at a local guy we know who owns a bar, have them come to us at the bar. So I don't care if it's a lawyer, a lobbying firm, whatever
it may be,
accounting firm, who gives a shit, somebody that owns a bread shop, a bakery or whatever.
Bread shops.
Yeah. So
be, yeah.
all of you name it, just basically have them come in
and shoot the schniz.
Talk about entrepreneurship and talk about this, that, and the other thing, and talk about business in Pennsylvania or central Pennsylvania. How did you get here? How did you grow? Right. What did you do? What were your perils and pitfalls? How did you get over this? Whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's just filler to make these episodes. As time went on, it became very difficult for this friend of mine and I to coordinate our schedules to be able to make that happen. He's got 2 young kids. Time is just not on his side.
Right.
I mean, he's got a job, for Christ's sake. He's got a family to support, all this kind of stuff. So just it fell through. I don't want to say fell through. It's paused. We'll just say that it's
in the works,
paused.
man. It's in the works.
Yeah,
could pop up anytime.
Who knows? Who knows? In the meantime, we might have done an episode or 2, and it just got tabled. It just sat there because we never did anything else.
Right.
Fast forward a couple of months, you 2 had already done a couple of months worth of episodes.
Right.
Yeah, so I think I said to you, like, check it out or something. Like, go ahead on Spotify.
Yep.
ODB, check it out. And you're like, oh, okay. And lo and behold.
And then one day, I get a phone call.
Yeah. So when Matt was telling me the whole time, like when we had an episode I'll never forget. I think it was
it's only been like a couple months. So
well, I'll never forget. Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah. But it was like, I'd say Gemini. I think it was Gemini method. And we were talking about something, and Matt made a comment. He's like, "This, we really need a third person here to bounce stuff off of, like when we're not sure or whatever like that." And we were talking about it like during the episode, and afterwards, I'm like, you're right. Like a third person would be great to have in here, just somebody that with a different perspective, or that that we could all vibe with and stuff like that. But all along, like off the air when we were talking, he was saying, "Yeah, I talked to Zap. We were texting or whatever like that." I was like, "Tell him to like." He told me you were working on something. I said, well, tell him to like call in, or like, can we call him or whatever, talk to him on the air and stuff. I said, because if he's into it, you know what I mean? Maybe he'll come on as a guest, and who knows what'll happen. And that's kind of where I guess it kind of started from that.
Yes, I do. You were a semi-intelligent guy with a cool voice.
Right. All lies.
Not as sensual as my own, but decent.
No one has the sweet, sweet smooth of Matt.
Right.
I like how you're getting into the microphone like this.
Yeah.
So make a point.
So I thought maybe I'd play a couple things, back from when Matt and I first started with this, and then we'll play some of the stuff with Zap, like the phone call, and then Zap's gonna.
And then how he just jumped in.
If I can find it,
if he can get a hold of some tapes,
if I can get a hold of some tapes,
yeah, maybe add a little bit of that in there. So
Screwface.
I was returning videotapes.
Oh,
so I'll go back to like when we first started. So this was our first time. Let me see where.
My very first time. Was this like upstairs before we even got down into the basement?
This was when we were in the
old dirty dining room.
Yep.
Old dirty laundry room.
Laundry room. Podcast in my laundry room.
Yep. So yeah, this is the first time that Matt and I actually sat down with the microphones and the equipment. I was just learning the equipment that I got. We were going through the music that Davey the Fly from the Tsunami Experiment had sent me over to pull some tracks, trying to figure out what our name was going to be for the podcast, how the format was going to be, and obviously like theme music. So this is like a little taste of that first time we sat behind the microphones, and we're trying to come up with everything, listening to the music and all that. You can hear my wife in the background because we were actually in my dining room at the time before we actually moved down to the basement, the old dirty basement. So yeah, this is just like a little peek inside how that all started. So hope you enjoy that. Take a listen. Does your mic level sound good?
Yep. Testing. Right. 1, 2. Testing.
All right.
Sibilance. Did you ever see that episode Saturday Night Live with Tom Hanks?
I don't know if I saw that one or not.
He was setting up for Aerosmith, and he was like the mic check guy. So he's like, testing, 1, 2, testing, sibilance.
See if his S's sound good.
Yeah, it was funny. And then like, what's his face gets on there and starts screaming and yelling. Tom Hanks is all, yes, Mike, check. He's like checking in the middle of in the sound. It's pretty good. It's
is
funny.
it like a more recent SNL, or is it an older?
No,
one?
This is Tom Hanks from like it's got to be like in the 90s. In like high school. High school 90s.
All right, so this is one of the albums. He has 2 of them on here. We can pick something from. So here's a couple tracks. I'll just go through them. Oh wait,
the last one was louder over there on that.
Yeah, let me. I
like how they did, like after when you like turned into like, yes, all right, yeah,
yeah.
That was a tsunami.
Oh, no wonder it's not hooked up. Hold on, let me connect. All right, so now we're in.
All right,
this is all a learning curve. Well, this won't be the permanent studio, so
yeah, it's coming to you live out of Dave's dining room. So here we are.
We don't even eat in here, let alone podcast. All right, so.
Before work, you get up. Hey, how's it going? Your wife's going to be like, I wish Matt would just get out of my dining room.
All right, so here we'll go through a couple tracks on here and see if you like anything.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Coming at you.
All right.
All right, here's another one.
Can you play the big drums like you do the bongos?
Just lead me to them.
Yeah, like
Can
that.
I play the
Like
big
something like
drums?
that.
Better than the
What are you
bongos.
talking?
Great,
Yeah.
man. They're in there.
Yes?
And give me a real long blast, will you?
Sure,
Great,
sure.
great.
Yeah, here we go.
You like that one?
They're all pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I think. There was that's too slow. This
Looks
one.
like a nightmare factory.
Something like that.
John's laugh. Let's go back.
Now, there must be a logical explanation for that noise. Yeah, a big, fat, logical, supernatural ghost.
It's kind of upbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go, episode 1. Instead of the gravel pit, you think maybe just gravel pit?
You could do that.
Just gravel pit.
Gravel Pit Podcast.
Gravel pit podcast.
I like this guitar riff on it. Cool. And then hold on, let me get.
All right, coming to you live out of sunny California. It's because of the surf music.
I know, like I was thinking of like with this kind of music when I was thinking about talking about Blood Lake. Instead of doing like a whole episode on Blood Lake, maybe do like a do a segment called like the VHS Graveyard, and then like pick movies from the 70s and 80s that nobody ever saw or maybe like forgot about, and like do a little review on
Like
it.
straight to VHS.
Yeah, like call it like the segment like the VHS Graveyard. And then I was thinking about with Dave's music, if we pulled another song, we could do like the VHS, the Island of the Lost VHS. You know, like almost like, hey, it's time to like
Land of the Lost.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
VHS tapes.
yeah, like almost like that music gives you a vibe that you're on the water somewhere. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That you're at the
okay.
beach, like, hey, we're going to a surf spot where other, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Have you seen the price of DVD players lately? Have you seen them on Amazon?
Are
Pop
they-
that up.
Well, let's see.
They-
Oh,
You're looking at DVD players. Just take a wild guess. Just throw one out at me.
like a regular DVD player?
Regular DVD player.
$29.
No.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at hundreds.
Why?
Looking at hundreds. I have no idea. Look on Amazon, DVD players.
All right, let me look up.
If I would say $800, would you believe me?
I don't know. Nah, right he's lying. Right here's one for $39, man.
All right. Well, I was looking at something else. Might have
Are you-
been Blu-ray.
Maybe Blu-ray. Yeah, I was
Okay,
like,
yeah,
wait
so
a minute, I missed something.
That was
man.
unfounded. Never mind.
You know what I do on the side, right?
I don't know. I had one in my basement. I don't know if you guys wanted one. Or
Yeah,
not.
you're trying to like.
Yeah,
sell-
teenagers in the basement, like, hey, Dad, can I get a DVD of new movie here? But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, actually, we're gonna touch on that later. But when I did a little research on this Blood Lake, I don't know if I told you, but there's one VHS copy for sale anywhere. It's on eBay and it's $2,450.
Wow.
So I looked up the budget on Blood Lake was $6,000 to make the movie, and you figure 300 of that is the hitch they had to put on the Trans Am.
Yes,
So,
that's true. That's true.
um,
Did you know that was Tony Hawk's first movie? Tony Hawk was actually in that movie.
oh yeah, I
Yes.
didn't. Was he skateboarding?
No, there was no skateboarding. He was with a teenage Asian girl. They were
Oh.
they were on their way up. There was actually 7 people in the Trans Am with the hitch package. Yeah, great movie though. Great movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I missed Tony Hawk, and I have to look through the
You,
credits.
you have to check that out. I
Yeah.
don't think his name is Tony Hawk. They couldn't call him that. But,
Oh, he probably changed his name after that movie came out. I don't know if it made it to the theaters or not, but the research I did said it was shot on video, so they actually didn't mean to shoot it that way. I guess on camcorder, but
was it a VHS camcorder? Was that how, or was it like 8mm?
I
Did
think
they
it-
have that then?
I think it might have been VHS. I don't know.
Okay.
They don't really reference it. There's not a lot of data out here on this movie because, I mean, let's face it.
Actually, I think that's where I got confused. If you look up VHS, see how much a VHS recorder is, or a VHS tape player.
All right, let's look.
I think those are like $800. I saw something the other day. I'm confused at times, very confused. But I'm pretty sure they were around $800 for some of them.
Let me see.
500 maybe. VHS.
I know the movies. That's what I was going to say in my research. Now, right here's one for 159.
Man, still.
Strike two.
That's up there.
Yeah.
You guys took a really big risk, by the way. And by that, I mean, nobody on the inner tubes or in the podcast verse knows who the hell you were.
Right.
And you're reviewing movies that nobody has ever seen.
Right.
And by nobody, I mean
most people.
Relatively speaking, nobody.
A small amount.
So there's two nobodies doing. You know what I mean by
know
nobodies.
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So
we're not famous.
There's thank you. There's two very non-famous guys reviewing extremely non-famous movies. Like, man, you're really looking for a needle in a haystack there.
Well, we started with that idea.
That might work for Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
Not so sure about Dave and Matt.
That's where he took the turn and realized.
The other thing is that, and it's something that I want to discuss with you guys off air, is I had the idea of having a true crime podcast, but also wanted to do these movie reviews. I didn't really want to do two separate podcasts because of the cost incurred and all that for each podcast you have to. So we kind of consolidated it into one. Originally, the concept for this podcast was we were going to do a true crime and then at the end, a movie review. So it was going to be one episode, the first half hour, or at the time we were talking about 45-minute episodes, maybe the first, 20, 25 minutes of true crime. And then we would do a movie review.
But that's another reason with the third person, because Dave and I were doing stuff and we thought it was lasting a good amount of time. And then once you break it down, we got like 30 minutes of airtime. Right. We're like, oh, shit.
So we broke
back to the old drawing board.
Right. We broke this into two then. Actually, that was a recommendation by one of the guys that kind of helped me a lot in the beginning, Brian, listener Brian, guy that
Thank you, Brian.
He helped me come up with the name. Actually, I think he spit it out the one day. And I was like, that's brilliant. He's like, I would call it this because, this and that.
For the vintage cinema?
No, for the old dirty basement. Oh. And because I knew we wanted to call it basement, something to do with basement because we're in the basement. And,
I thought that was me. I'm not sure.
No, we were going to call it Basement Files. We were going to call it, we had all these names, the Gravel Pit, remember?
The Gravel Pit was one, yeah.
We had all kinds of names we were throwing around. But it was originally going to be one whole podcast, true crime and movie review, like tied together. And since then
But yeah, as life would have to offer, we didn't have 3-4 hours of just block time on our hands. So.
No, to do that.
Yeah.
But one guy made, why don't you split them into two? So that's why we have a Monday episode and a Thursday episode. But I'm actually thinking about splitting it into a whole nother podcast. We have Old Dirty Basement and we have Vintage Cinema Review. So that's something I might entertain. I want to talk to you guys and figure it out. But yeah, originally that's what it was going to be. And I mean, it's still it's changed. The B horror movies, like we still do those from time to time. But then we figured out people are nostalgic for the movies that they love. Why not put polls out there? Let people that are listening vote on them. And that way you have built-in listenership. If they're voting on the movies or, like the one we just did was Christmas Vacation. I mean, there's a big market for that and people really enjoy it.
Sure. It is the season.
Right.
So something like that is going to be popping up on the internet. It's going to be trending, I think, is what the kids call it these days.
But every so often, maybe if we put out a B movie poll for stuff that people would like to hear about that might seem interesting to them.
I personally love like those movies, but I did get feedback off Blood Lake that people that actually had never seen the movie, but they were entertained. Mm-hmm. They liked just.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Yeah. They even though they did not know about the movie, they've never seen it. They enjoyed because we were passionate about it and we were talking about it. They're like, oh, I mean, they're probably not going to sit down and watch it because it is horrible. And we had a disclaimer in the beginning. Our lawyer had a disclaimer that we put out.
That this movie is horrible?
Yeah, basically, like, I'll have to play it for you then. It basically, he wrote up a whole thing. And we
did it in the Micro Machines voice, which was...
I actually took his audio and sped it up. So this is the JW disclaimer that we were just discussing. And this is when JW first came over. And he was nice enough to write this up. And if you listen, like he wrote up so many different things, just like a lawyer would, things to not be held liable for. And we sped it up. And kind of like the Micro Machines commercial we were referencing, this is what the end product was. Take a listen. Hope you enjoy it. Our law firm has sent over their senior partner, J.W. Shyster, Esquire.
Viewing of Blood Lake is intended for entertainment purposes only. The creators of Old Dirty Basement make no representations, warranties as the efficacy of Blood Lake. Individual results may vary. The creators of Old Dirty Basement have no financial interest in Blood Lake. Any favorable comments about Blood Lake should not be construed as an endorsement of Blood Lake by the creators of Old Dirty Basement. Blood Lake is harmful if swallowed. Blood Lake is live, except on the West Coast. Blood Lake is not intended to be used as a flotation device. Blood Lake is recommended for indoor use only. No postage necessary if mailed in the United States. Blood Lake may contain small parts. Do not watch Blood Lake if the safety seal is broken.
Hey, JW, you going to wrap this up?
How much longer is Cat going to be talking, man?
I don't know. He does get paid by the hour, but do you want to just start the show?
Yeah, lawyers, dude.
Micro Machines.
Remember that guy? Like,
I know the guy. He actually did. That same guy, I think, did a FedEx commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He did that and the Micro Machines. So that's kind of basically what it was going to be, and this is what it is now. I mean, it's grown into something. I think that's great. I mean, we've grown a lot since we started.
Sure.
I mean, who knows where it's going to go from here. So when JW first came on, it's a buddy of mine that's a lawyer, so he didn't want to use his real name. His last name is Watson. He said it's cool for me to tell you that. But we were trying to incorporate his name and come up with something cool for the show, so he could use like an alias on here. And we eventually came up with a JW Shyster Esquire. But originally, you can hear some of the names we were throwing out there. Matt was away, I think, at the time, so we were trying to do this over the phone with Matt while JW was here in studio with me, and we were recording the disclaimer that you heard earlier. And this is me and JW kind of talking to Matt, trying to figure this out. So I thought you guys might enjoy this little tidbit, this little behind-the-scenes stuff, so enjoy. So we're trying to come up with a name for him to use.
For what?
For his name on the show.
So we're keeping it more PG-13.
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
You should probably keep it more PG-13.
Okay. So do you have any?
Johnny Anal Plug.
Watson. I like Watson's a great last name. We need to come up like Randy Watson was a great person, but something Watson.
Who's Randy Watson?
You know who Randy Watson is?
I do not.
Me neither. I don't know who that is.
Okay, Randy Watson was from the Coming to America movies.
Yes, you're correct. It's been decades.
Yes, correct, sir.
You are correct.
Yeah, so Randy Watson. But I like the last name Watson, but you might not want your last name on there.
Well, could his first name be Watson?
Yeah,
I'm like Watson Jenkins.
Yeah, there's what's a lawyerly last name? F. Lee Watson.
Watson Kardashian.
Watson.
No,
you could have like Watson Kardash.
Watson Kardashian.
A lawyerly.
Watson has the old English feel to it. It could be Barrister Watson.
Barrister Watson, yeah. Action,
something like that.
Action Watson.
Action Watson. Braxton Watson.
Yeah.
Have you or anybody you know been injured by flying debris? Yeah. Call now. Time to act is limited.
Action Watson. That's actually not that bad. I don't know.
It won't be a lawyer's name though.
Maybe a porn star's name.
Yeah. Or what that was what was that what was that action movie from the 80s with Carl Weathers?
How about
Action Jackson? That's what it was.
How about Esquire Jones?
Jackson.
Esquire Jones.
Esquire Jones.
Yeah.
Or it could be like an S, but you can't say like Esquire, like how you would say Esquire. It had to like Esquire, something like that, or like E. No, Esquire's cool though. I like that.
How about Rupert Stilinski? Rupert Stilinski. That's Styles' real name from Teen Wolf. I just looked at that.
I never did.
I would say something like.
Well,
like
I should have let you find out.
Epstein.
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 Yeah, that wouldn't go over too well.
Come to my island.
Yeah, that would go over real well.
Why can't I think of any famous lawyers other than those attached to the OJ trial?
Well, there's who was on the OJ trial?
Yeah, that guy. Kardashian.
No, but who was like the old guy with the eyebrows?
F. Lee Bailey.
No, but the other guy that had like
bald-headed dude.
Shapiro.
Yeah,
That's
Shapiro.
Watson Shapiro. Nah.
I'm trying to think of something.
I'm recording. I'm recording
hard?
this just so you know, because if we come up with something good, then it'll be
the one that always shows up is that Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
I've seen that one.
I don't know why is this stuff so hard to figure things out.
I don't know about why he's looking that up. So he wrote out this real long, crazy disclaimer, right? So he's gonna read the whole thing, and then we're gonna play it, and then we're gonna be like, is this guy gonna stop? Let's just mute him for a while, and we're gonna take it down, and then like maybe a quarter way through the show, we'll bring it back. Is the guy still there? And we'll bring it back up. We'll still be reading it because it's like a super long.
It's super long.
How long? Like 2 pages? Is it like almost a whole podcast?
It's a page single space.
It's a page, yeah, but it's like
No, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We have the law firm of Swindler, Backstabber, and Bloodsucker.
Watson Swindler. There you go.
Watson Swindler. Like Swindler Watson. At your service.
Watson.
Yeah, this is going to give me a bad name locally.
Yeah, well, we don't have to use Watson. You can use.
Yeah.
You can use some out. I mean, we keep you a mystery. Like Shallow Throat, he wears a hoodie, like a robe. So you don't ever see who he is.
Oh, I should have brought. I have like a fake George Washington wig. Oh, I should have worn that.
Well, bring that back when you do the. I told him
the unknown lawyer.
I told him
unknown lawyer.
Like next time if you're here and he's here, that we can do like a little paragraph for Kill for Thrill. He does a Pittsburgh accent, so when he's our lawyer now, we can go, hey, I think whatever his name is.
Pittsburgh. I thought that was the way he just talked regularly.
Oh no, it can get worse. I could go straight old Yinzer on you.
So we can be like, I think Swindler lived out there for a while. I wonder if he knows anything, and then we can bring him on, and then he can tell us about.
Yeah, I tell about. You got to take that bus downtown back in 1979 when the Buccos were winning. You cost you $3 to get down there, and then you take incline up on Mount Washington.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's in my blood. Ditcher, Quickenheim.
Sausage.
Divorce lawyers.
Ditcher, Quickenheim.
Screw 'em good in heart.
I'm letting you guys come up with that one.
All right. I didn't know if you had it in, because I thought maybe you'd come up with something.
All right. Well, thanks for nothing.
Joe Leota.
Joe Leota. Do that.
It's catchy.
Joe Leota.
Yeah.
I like it. You want to go with that, or do you want to keep looking? I don't care.
And I was just flipping through some channels real quick while I was cleaning up, and Goodfellas was on.
No, and that's a mixture of Pesci and Ray Liotta.
What was Jim Carrey's name in Liar Liar?
Something to do with lying.
We're good at that.
Like Joe Fibbins.
Joe Fibbins.
Fletcher Reed was his name.
Fletcher Reed.
Fletcher Reed.
You'd be Reed Fletcher. Maybe somebody would catch that someday. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, I know that from that.
John Cocktoaston.
What was that from?
That's Fletch.
Oh, Fletch.
Fletch's aliases. Thurgood Marshall.
Mm.
No.
Let me see.
Something with like a lying in it. It's kind of cool. But
yeah. Clarence Thomas.
Yeah. Wasn't he a judge or something?
Still is.
He still is.
Oh,
Supreme Court.
Yeah, Alan Dershowitz was the one. Maybe Watson Dershowitz.
Dershowitz.
Jeff Vader.
Atticus Finch. Atticus Finch. Vincent Gambini. That's Joe Pesci.
Oh. I won't even remember.
There's a lot of cool lawyer names.
There are.
Arthur Kirkland.
There are.
Jan Schlickman. Fletcher Reed. That's the one. Catherine Murphy.
Jan Schlickman?
Mickey Haller. Martin Vale. That's from Richard Gere, Primal Fear.
Primal Fear was a pretty good movie.
All right.
I'll thank you later.
All right, later, man.
Later.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, every lawyer has Esquire at the end, so you can just do something like Johnny Esquire or something Esquire.
So this is a little clip of when Shallow Throat was in, who's our announcer, with that awesome voice he has. He came in when we were doing The Lobster Boy. So this is very early on when Matt and I were first starting out. And I had forgotten that my Bluetooth was on, and my mom calls in the middle of all this. So we have basically have Shallow Throat cutting in with a crazy story about a merry-go-round. And I thought that was funny. This got cut, but I thought it was a funny story. And then in the middle of all this chaos, my mom calls in, which is funny as well. Obviously, didn't make it into the episode. Thought maybe you guys would be interested in hearing this. So take a listen and enjoy.
You get him a mic.
Yeah, you're good. He was probably watching, MTV and thought that's what gangsters wear. Let me wear a Raiders hat.
The IOU sweatshirt was what gangsters would wear.
Hold on, Shallow Throat has something to say.
Throat.
I got a funny story about merry-go-round from when I was a teenager.
What's that? What's that, Shallow Throat?
Me and my buddy took off and walked through Grasshopper. Grasshopper was the woods between Stilton and the mall before they put all those houses up there. Me and my buddy, we were potheads. And took some weed with us and smoked some weed on the way to merry-go-round at the mall. We were hitting on these girls that worked there.
Oh, you're talking about the store merry-go-round. I thought you were actually talking about a carnival.
No, the store merry-go-round.
Yeah, you had to walk down through. That was called Sleepy Hollow, I believe.
They called those woods grasshopper, what we called them, grasshopper.
Stilton.
Yeah, so we started talking to these older girls that were the sales girls at merry-go-round. And it eventually led to marijuana. They asked us if we had any marijuana. In fact, we did. So we hooked them up with some marijuana. Saw them a couple of days later, walked in merry-go-round, tried to talk to them and ask them how the pot was. They blew us off and act like they didn't know us, and we couldn't understand it. So they must have had a bad trip. That's all we could think of.
All right, thank you. We'll edit that out later. No, but that does remind me of a funny story also. This is going back to not the merry-go-round at the East Mall. This was the actual merry-go-round it was at the Highspire Carnival. You're familiar with that area. But they actually had a gentleman working there. And when we were waiting in line, he would be like, he'd cough, and he would hit the back of his head, and his eye would pop out into his hand. Then he would throw his eye into his mouth, swirl it around, spit it back out into his hand, and put it back in his eye. These are the kind of people that were circus performers.
Right.
That's why they would call them freaks. Oh, hey, who has somebody on the line here?
We got a caller.
Caller.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, remember that toilet paper you bought at Costco's and you had Michelle give it to us because you said you didn't like it?
Was it a high-quality toilet paper?
Oh. How you doing, Matt?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's your mom?
She's doing well. She's a little gambled out from bingo the other day. She's looking forward to Sunday, though.
I know. Where'd she go to bingo the other day?
No, you guys go to the Verhavo Club, Vorhevi.
Yeah, but we didn't go Father's Day. That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But she enjoys it. Thanks for turning her on to that. Yeah, she loves going to bingo.
So
yeah.
So what were you asking about toilet paper?
The toilet paper, I guess you got it at Costco. You said you didn't like it.
Yeah.
I guess it was the texture of it.
Yep.
If I give you the money, can you get me another pack of that?
Sure, no problem. I have some here. I think we have some left over.
High quality.
Yep.
Well, you gave me the whole pack.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I can get you more.
Yeah, I'll give you the money. There's no hurry for it because I still got a couple rolls here, but
No
I
problem.
like that.
Yep. No problem. We'll take care of it.
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you.
Bye.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. So anyway, back to the story.
Yeah, back to the story.
So one of our major contributors and top fans is Nutley Nick. He's a guy that's been on a lot, listens all the time. And we had called him the one time to get some feedback on names for our fans, people that listen to the show. So we came up with Cellar Dwellers. So we just called him. This is a little quick 2 minute call, I think it was. Just Nutley Nick, little behind the scenes. We were talking to him. He was on his way to a West Virginia, I think, football game at the time. So I thought that'd be cool to listen to. So take a listen and enjoy this one. Oh, answer. For sure.
Yo.
Nutley Nick.
Yeah, this is Nutley Nick. What's up?
Nutley, how the hell are you, man? How's it going?
Not a good time to talk. I'm just going into the stadium.
Okay.
Quick question. What do you think
Sure
of our name for our listeners? We were thinking the Cellar Dwellers.
Ooh, I like that.
You think that'll fit?
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, we just wanted to get feedback. I tried to call Brooklyn Brian, but I couldn't get a hold of him. So
Brooklyn Brian.
Enjoy it.
The cellar dwellers. I do like that. That's good.
Yeah, because it seems all the other podcasts are giving their people cool names, and we felt left out.
Yeah. So Nutley Nick votes yes.
Yes for Cellar Dwellers.
I want to be the king of the cellar dwellers.
Okay, you can run things.
Well,
in the Cellar Dweller Kingdom. We'll see about that.
There'll be a WrestleMania outside for top Cellar Dweller.
Top billing, yeah. I mean, we'll see how you make out with the bet with JW. You know what I mean?
I'm psyched. I'm ready to suit up and play.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't want to hold you up.
Well, September 1st.
Do some promotion, all right?
I will. I'll wear a shirt. I'll wear a old dirty basement shirt.
We're working on Matt's wife's working on logo right now, so that'll be up, and we'll even have a Nutley Nick shirt. With like I don't know where we can do that with We can make it West Virginia colors.
Yeah.
Just put Nutley Nick on it.
Well, yeah, we'll just have Nutley Nick's name.
Yeah.
And then
blue and gold, because you can't do the flying WV without it being a copyright lost.
Right.
Maybe we.
No, I'm not even joking. Like,
no, I know you can't do that.
There are band parents that wanted to make shirts and they shut it down because it has the flying WV.
What if we had a flying ODB?
We could do that.
A flying what?
ODB.
Like Old Dirty Basement.
That's even in blue and gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great idea.
All right. All right, Nutley.
All right, guys.
All right,
Thank you. Later.
See ya.
So our boy Zap, we all know Zap. Obviously, he's been on the show now for a while. This is back when we first had a phone call with him, and we're kind of feeling everything out to say, hey, you want to come on for an episode? We were recording Nightmare on Elm Street, and if you go back to that episode, he was in the beginning, telling us a cool little story about Nightmare on Elm Street and Robert Englund and this, that, and the other. And we kind of referenced that he was coming in for a couple episodes. And as you know, he's stuck around. Now as a permanent part of the show. And if you listen at the very end of this, it's real funny. Now, he texted me in his defense when we hung up the phone. He did text me, hey, I messed up. I failed the test. I hit him real quick at the end with a we'll catch you where. And he kind of froze. He's like, I'll see you there. Like, not our catchphrase at the end. He didn't. Basically, I guess he just froze and was like, yeah, I'll see you there. Not knowing our like tagline, but he does know our tagline at the end. He texted me, dude, I'm sorry, I messed up. And I was like, nah, it's funny. Like, maybe it'll be on an outtake someday. And well, here it is. But anyway, that was our first call with Zap. I thought I'd edit that in. The parts that didn't make it on the Nightmare on Elm Street. This is just us talking about our process and how we record episodes and kind of what we were looking to do. So take a listen and enjoy that.
We're looking forward to you. I mean, you sound like a natural, man. There's not even even an interview.
Nah,
this is just
he's calling cold, man.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
We wanted to get you on, talk to you a little bit. So
sure.
So next week, like I'm gonna edit all this stuff. I'll just take little parts of the call if you don't care.
If you don't mind being in the next episode. I mean, we're like on air, but we're
right.
This stuff will be edited out, but we're gonna have like what
Understood.
that was awesome, dude. Like
Yeah.
for real. That was perfect.
So what I usually do, like I'll probably put that at the beginning of the Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll do like a little intro and be like, hey, by the way, we're going to have special guest next week. Zap is coming in. So
Sure.
I can use that name to say Zap, right?
Well, you can say John Zapp. You can say I don't care.
Okay.
Whatever.
So I'll just be like, yeah, I'm just going to say Zap.
Yeah, we'll get them all warmed up.
I'll just say Johnny Zap or Zap, whatever. So I'll be like, yeah, we're going to have Zap on next week. Here's a little taste. We were talking to him about Nightmare on Elm. He called in and we were just doing a little production stuff or whatever.
This guy knows what he's talking
about. And we just want to get a little bit his input on it. So here's a little snippet before we get into the episode. But so next week, so when you come in, I'm sure you kind of listen. You've heard a couple episodes, so
of course,
basically for like the Real Genius. So we're gonna watch the movie. I'll get some facts. Like you get whatever facts you want. Like I'll usually just get the budget and the box office. That part. Little facts. I just go online and find some stuff. Whatever you have on it. And then it's basically just, you've heard how we do it. We just kind of go through the script and all that. Or not through the script, but through the movie and like parts we like and whatever else like that. Then for the Ed Gein, I wrote up like a script on it. So I have like maybe 2 pages or whatever. If you have anything else, little tidbits you want to write out, you just throw out whatever you have, and then we just kind of edit it all together. So.
Of course, man. Of course. It's all about, I get it. Like, I'm no stranger to this either. So you just want to, you need to get time and essentially data, really. So you're just getting as much as you possibly can, and you're just going to cut this into whatever you do, which is cool in the gang. That just makes sense. That's how this works.
Well, you could pop up here or there in like a middle of something, or even something funny you said.
Yeah,
that just goes all in the
like you cut in. You come in, you cut in with whatever you want. If you have if you go off on a tangent, it doesn't matter. Like we do that a lot of times. Him and I will be talking, and I'll be like, "Man, that seemed like forever." But when you listen back, it's like, "Man, that was really quick," and it actually kind of worked. So that's where we can kind of edit, or if we mess up a fact or something like that, I'll go back and try to edit it, fix it or whatever. But if there's things that you guys
are masters at your craft.
Well, we're working on it. Trying to get there.
We are trying our best. But no, I think you'd be a fun addition, man. You sound you've always been funny, and you know what you're talking about. It's not like you're coming on you have knowledge in the field.
I'm just a movie fan like anyone else. But no, I got to tell you, I really appreciate, the shout out that really honestly came out of nowhere. Just again, I reached out and just asked, hey man, Were you camping? I swear to God and Sonny Jesus, dude, I look at that picture and that dude looks like you.
Kind of real quick, if you just like give him a quick glance.
Which is exactly what it was.
He
It
was much more handsome than myself, but
not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. I know better that your mom says you're the most handsomest boy in school, so
well, I thought your mom said that about me.
ooh. She did.
Hey, now.
She did.
I think she did. She's like, that Matt's such a good kid. My mom always said the same thing. Like, John's such a great kid.
Yeah, Matt was telling me Matt was telling me you guys met when you were like 11 and you went to like High Spire Pool or something like that.
That was their main hang. I just was like thrown into that. Then we used to ride our bikes around a lot and like steal hubcaps, those little caps that were on like big rigs.
Oh yeah,
that was another fun.
All
part.
true.
All true.
All true. All true.
But yeah, it was fun stuff growing up, and it's fun. Like you just get it. Like I'm saying, you come in here, man. We all just sit around and bullshit. Like,
right.
Yeah, of course.
And it's fun. It turns into some good stuff. So.
No, I think it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited.
Dude,
I'm excited to have you on, man, because I think it's gonna be, like I was talking to Matt. I was like, I've met you in high school. I've known you since high school. We get the same references and stuff. I think it'll be cool. Like I think it'll be,
of course,
and like Matt and I said, you're a bright guy.
Yeah,
so
quit building them up, man.
I'm just saying, like we need somebody here every now and then. Like we got a fact, we can spit it back to Zap.
Yeah,
and he could be like, But we had Kramer in here the other day. We did one with Kramer.
We did one with Kramer.
So like,
what the fuck did you do with Kramer?
What movie did we do?
We did Goodfellas.
Goodfellas,
coming out Thursday.
Yeah, he was good on that.
Nice.
He was good on Goodfellas.
Yeah, Kramer made a reference about a haberdashery, and we're doing one on Ray Myers Hollow. So that'll come out next Monday. I don't know if you ever heard of that story down in York.
No.
Yeah. So it's a good one. Like if you listen to it, you'll enjoy it. There was a murder down there. They thought the guy was a witch and whatever else. It happened like in the 1920s. Kramer made a reference to a haberdashery earlier in the episode. He was talking about and said something later about much like a haberdashery, where you would go get different clothing articles or whatever. And Kramer's like, well, no. And
yeah, Kramer's like, it's hats only. I was like,
haberdashery's
no.
hats only. And I was like, no, I think that's like where you get men's clothing.
Yeah, it's
like
a thrift. It was like a thrift shop place kind of back in the day.
Yeah,
you could find different things, but it was mostly just like some sort of accessories, clothes. Like they had hats, shirts.
Right. He had a second
johns.
guessing ourselves. I'm like, well, maybe he is right because
But he was wrong.
He was wrong. I looked it up afterwards. He was wrong anyhow.
So to be clear, the term in and of itself goes back, and with that, you're going to have, just with the virtues of the English language itself, you're going to have different people develop different names for things over the course of countless years.
Right.
So, a haberdashery, honestly, the first time I had ever heard the term haberdashery had to do with the Hateful Eight.
Exactly. That's where I heard it. And it was like an everything store. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an everything store.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what he said to Kramer, and he thought I was the dumbest person in the world.
Well, then I felt like maybe we're wrong, or maybe you know what I mean. That type stuff. That I'm like, are we right? Or are we wrong on that? And I don't know. Kramer had us believing
it's your show. You guys get to be right on anything the fuck you want to be right on.
Yeah, that is true. And we can and with the beauty of editing, we can make it sound however we want it. But yeah, I thought that was funny. Nice. But yeah. But at any rate, yeah, I think it's gonna be great because I can tell just by hearing you on, and I've known you that you're gonna be great.
But so if you need anything or whatever, just give any of us a holler. We'll talk about it. But we'll see you Tuesday. Stop over here at Dave's.
Give me a ballpark time, maybe.
Well, what time?
Yeah, what time works?
So I asked because I'll be driving back from New England that day.
Holy shit! Wow. What are you doing there?
Technically, that particular day, I'll be driving back from upstate New York.
Okay.
So I'm looking at maybe a 4 to 5 hour drive, but just want to make sure what time is cool. Like so if it's like 6 o'clock at night, I can make 6 o'clock.
Does another day work for you?
I mean, it can be
another day.
It can be as late as that. I mean, or it could be another day. It's up to Matt.
Whatever's comfortable with you. If you're cool getting here at like 6:30, that's fine. That works.
Yeah,
again, I don't want to put you guys out because you need hours of content, and I don't want to cut that short.
It's not.
Stop it.
No, it's not. If you get here at 6:30, I mean, unless you have I don't know if Matt does.
No, I'm good. If we're till 9 o'clock, that's fine. 9:30.
I can go all night.
Yeah.
Well, you bring some trucker speed with you.
That's what she said. I can go all night.
So get some trucker speed, and we got plenty of Tito's and stuff here, so we'll be all right.
I did get a beep from Kim. She can go all night.
Exactly. See, that's what. Yeah, we try to get each other on that stuff too. So if you listen, the music stuff, yeah, you'll be good, man.
No, he'll definitely get. Like I said, I could tell when Matt brought it up, and he told me earlier on that you guys have been texting and stuff. He said, "Yeah, Zap's talking about trying to do a podcast." And I was like, "Tell him to come on our podcast." Like I love that man here.
I said, "That boy be good."
Yeah,
that boy be good.
And I told Matt, I said, "Look, if he is thinking about I'd like you to be part of ours. Come hang out, whatever. We'll see what happens."
Sure.
But
dude, I'd love it. I think honestly, I think we're gonna have a really good fucking time. I really, really think that.
But I told Matt, like I said, even if he didn't want to be on it, if he ever wanted to come, like I'd show him all the stuff and how people that are, like when I got into this, like I learned so much just from the editing side and the software and the hardware and all that. So there's like if it's something that you really were interested in, like venturing on even on your own and doing it, I would definitely help you out. And when you come over here, you'll see everything, and I'll walk you through any questions you have or whatever. But like I'd like to have you as part of ours. Come hang out, see how it goes. Like we were talking about the other day, like we're trying to get people in here that like we vibe with. And that, it just makes the episodes better, I think, having that third person there. And we have 4 mics in here, so we could have a fourth.
Yeah, if you know.
I was just going to ask, should I bring my own rig, or is everybody good? Like I got headphones and a mic and a stand and a boom and everything.
Yeah, we're rigged up.
Plug into your box.
No, but I got everything you need. All I need is basically you and like your idea. Like I said, if you have anything you want to write up or any little tidbits or any little things like that, I mean, I have a script kind of written up. But
for sure,
or if like I told Matt, I said even if like when we've been telling people, hey, if you have any ideas for any other stories, like interesting things, write them up.
He gets
whatever.
it, Dave.
Yeah, he got it.
Sorry.
But yeah, I don't want to hold you up all night. I think Matt's
Dude, you're not holding me up all night. But I can tell you in advance. Like I was back and forth, of course, with Matt about this, and I was just tossing out like the first thing that came to my mind: coming to America.
Yes.
Maybe we'll save that one for a second one if I impress you enough with the first one.
Oh, stop it, you two. Stop it.
I'm telling you. So, like, the first two that pop out of my mind, because you had already done Better Off Dead, only because you had already done Better Off Dead, my second and third were going to be Real Genius and Coming to America. And so when pops back, Real Genius, I love that movie.
Yeah, so I like that one too.
That just makes it so easy for me because, dude, I have seen that movie 1,000 times.
Yes, everybody wants to rule the world.
Yeah, I saw that. A long time ago. I remember like he was in school and then he like had bubbles or foam somewhere.
No, popcorn. Oh, you're talking about when they made the ice in the hallway.
That's what it was. And they made like,
but it goes away because like they're just real smart kids. And
that was a good movie. I saw
they have the pool party
probably when I was a teenager. That's how long ago.
And the laser.
My buddy Matt, my other buddy Matt, is like a huge Val Kilmer fan. So we used to watch Top Secret. I think that was the one where he was like
he's a spy,
and the Real Genius one you're talking about. And I'm trying to think what other Val Kilmer, but yeah, dude, no, we're definitely down for as many as you want to do.
What is that velvet? It's beautiful.
Coming to America.
Okay,
yeah.
So gentlemen, we are in for a good time.
No,
yes, sir.
We are really in for a good time.
I can't wait, man. So yeah, next week we got Zap, and we're doing Real Genius and Ed Gein. Look forward to it.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Yep. All right, Zap, we'll catch you where?
You'll catch me there.
Yes, exactly.
That was a test.
All right, dude.
All right, brother.
All right.
I'll talk to you
later.
So.
Yeah, Zap will be good.
All right, cool.
Get you where? There. Oh. Look, yeah, listen to everyone.
So happy to have Zap on board with us. Gives us a whole nother voice of, opinion and everything else, and really adds a lot.
It's like a voice of reason.
Yeah. It's the guy that Matt and I always talked about. We need to
reason.
that we need to bounce stuff off of. Like, we need this guy,
That was a great reference, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And well, obviously, I'm honored, to be here. It's not only fun doing this, but it's fun doing it with old friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's while you were talking about polls and putting them out and having the people help us really to put some more stuff out there, and we want to appeal to the masses. Please tell us what you want to hear.
What you want to hear?
I would love to know, just talk favorite movies. Like we it'll come up every now and then, and I know that I will say, oh well, that for me like like I can't have one singular. Like that's impossible for me.
Right.
But I'll have one favorite for each genre.
Right.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
So, like, I know I've said it before, like, my favorite sci-fi of all time, no question, is 1984's Dune with Kyle MacLachlan. Like, that to me is the definition of what a sci-fi movie should be. It's so good, so good. So, I mean, if you like sci-fi, what's your favorite sci-fi movie?
For me, I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but I would say for sci-fi, I mean, I guess Star Wars would be my favorite. I mean, and I know that's kind of like, I mean, who doesn't like Star Wars? But as far as movies go, I'm more of a horror guy.
Okay.
And that, but even that, as far as horror movies go, I mean, Halloween has always been like my favorite. But sci-fi, I would say probably Star Wars. I was never a Star Trek guy or any of that other stuff. And like you talked about Dune, I saw that like years ago. But I was never.
You were probably like, "What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
what kind of asshole likes a movie like this?"
And the only other movie that I would say, and I don't even know if I'd classify it as sci-fi or horror, would be Aliens. Aliens, I love Aliens, and I remember back when the second one,
Aliens, which was the sequel to the
yes.
first. Yep.
So that would be up there too. But I guess Star Wars would probably be my. And as far as the Star Wars trilogy goes, the first three of all of them, I shouldn't say trilogy. I would probably say Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my favorite Star Wars also.
Yeah. So what would yours?
Give us, drop it for us. Break it down for me.
Let's see. My favorite sci-fi, The Last Starfighter. Has anyone ever seen that?
Years ago, yeah.
Would that be considered sci-fi pretty
Hell
much?
yeah,
Hell yeah.
man.
That was probably one of my favorites. Regular movie, horror movie, I would say, between Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, just because, I don't know, growing up watching those.
Yeah, they have a sweet spot for you.
Mm-hmm. What were the other ones?
I mean, we can just keep going with this. So, if we're moving along here, so we've gone from sci-fi to, all right, so horror. Here's horror to me. I think we might have talked about this before. So I grew up with older parents. That is to say, for my age, they were older and remain. It's like almost a generation was skipped. So I came up watching older movies, which to this day I still fancy. Horror movie would be probably Psycho or something else. Alfred Hitchcock, something else. I don't know, like The Birds, maybe.
Right.
Rear Window.
Oh God, there it is, Rear Window. So yeah, so it would either be Psycho or Rear Window. But Rear Window is more of a thriller versus a horror.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. The Jimmy Stewart though, I mean, that was redone like a bunch of times, not called Rear Window, but a bunch of different names. But like you said, you always go with the classics on something like that.
I do.
Even though I disagree with some of your holiday movie.
So here we are. Now we are in the holidays, and I'll circle around now with this one. So favorite holiday movie. So for me, all time, I said this before, I'll say it again, happily, no question, White Christmas, 1954, starring Bing Crosby, Danny fucking Kaye.
Right. For me, I don't know, for as far as like Christmas movie, I mean, Christmas Vacation that we just did is the one that I'm sick of. Christmas Story. I mean, I think because it's just on, I mean, obviously it's on
24 hours.
At the time when it came out, I was probably 8-9 years old, and I remember going to the theater to see that.
Oh, wow.
I was just talking about this the other day. I did not see that movie until years later. And I mean like after high school, years later.
I saw it at the theater at Colonial Park Mall. They used to have a separate building out back.
Yep.
And I remember seeing that there in E.T. at that theater. And I remember that movie, when it came out, I remember loving it. And I mean, it's still a good movie, I shouldn't say, but I would say probably like Christmas Vacation. These older movies you're talking about, I hate to say this, but I just saw like Miracle on 30, all those, like those older ones.
Miracle on 34th Street,
yeah,
It's a Wonderful Life.
I've only seen them recently. Like as I got older, I went back and watched them, and
As
they're
a kid,
great, and they're still
wasn't
great.
checking them out.
Yeah. I mean, they are great movies. They're timeless. I mean, even though, you know, they were however many years ago, you can relate to everything going on in the movie. You know, that stuff doesn't change.
I don't know. Christmas, what I saw, I think it was a year or two ago.
Die Hard.
I was going to mention that next, but no, it was.
We're going to fight.
No, I'm not mentioning that.
I was trying to get Zap fired up.
There's actually a newer one. It's 8-Bit Christmas, and I don't know if
I like that.
It takes me back to growing up, and I think because I'm tired of Christmas. Not tired of Christmas Vacation, but I can't.
Right.
Like I can't sit there. I mean, it'll be on in the background, but I don't sit and like watch it anymore. After we did the review, I was kind of like, maybe.
That's the one where they were getting a Nintendo, right? They were saving up their money to get a Nintendo, and they somehow, some way sneak their way when they take a school trip or some shit, and they get the Nintendo, but it gets run over.
Yes.
So I just watched that last year for the first time, and it hadn't been out long.
No, it just came out like a couple years ago.
I mean, Matt, I agree with you. That's a great movie. That's absolutely a great movie.
And it's just fun because I don't know it all that well. So during Christmas, when I put it on, the kids come down, we watch it. Like I pick things out or something like, oh shit, that's funny. Like it just is a fun thing to watch. Other Christmas story. I guess I still like Christmas. I mean, that's on in the background for Christmas. I don't really watch it, but it is on.
It's like elevator music for Christmas Day.
Yeah,
it really is. It just keeps going and going and going.
I don't know, but I don't think we can really downplay it because there's just so much out there that I think even though we're doing cinema reviews, there's just so much to grab in that concept that anything that people have for us, we enjoy doing. So let us learn something new too.
Definitely. I do have a favorite movie across all genres, and we had already covered it, and it was Goodfellas. That's my favorite movie of all movies, and
if you only ever had one movie to ever watch again, it would be that one.
I could. It's a long movie, and but I would watch it over and over again. You know what I mean? I remember seeing that movie actually my dad, I remember we rented it and watching it, and I was blown away. I was probably 15 at the time. I guess it was 1990, probably 91. And I just remember loving that movie, and I still love it. But I would put that at the top of all movies, no matter what the genre is. And I mean, I am a fan of all movies, and a lot of these movies I haven't seen in a long time. So I like to go back and revisit them.
Yes.
And as an adult now, a lot of these I haven't seen since I was a kid. So it's cool to have perspective now. You know, when we just did these Clark Griswold movies, and we just did Vacation and Christmas Vacation. Now I relate to him as I'm the guy on vacation, the dad.
You're the dad with the kids and the wife. And
right. So I just it's cool to revisit these movies. But
we enjoy that. I don't know if I could pick a favorite, but I'd have to think about that and come back to y'all later.
Well, so let's call I for damn sure can't, but let's call Goodfellas a drama, which for damn sure it is.
Right.
So Matt, you got a favorite drama? Save the drama for your mama.
I don't know. I think I put it out on not a favorite, but growing up, one of those things about school, Dead Poet Society. I always thought was
that's a great movie.
It's a really cool movie, especially as like a youth growing up, being like, man, what would it be like to be at a school like that at that time? A bunch of friends. One of them growing up things, but I think Robin Williams is very good in that. And I'm not like a huge Robin Williams fan, but I just thought that was a movie that stood the test of time.
How about you? Drama.
So for the longest time, it was Shawshank Redemption.
Great movie. Yeah. So, forgot about that one.
So if asked the question, I would say Shawshank Redemption. For the longest time, I would have said Shawshank Redemption. I read the book, which was actually a book of 4 short stories. Same book that Stand By Me came from, but the short story name for that was The Body. So both of these are done. So fun fact, this was done by Stephen King, wrote Shawshank Redemption.
I didn't know that.
The name of the book is Different Seasons. So it's 4 short stories in there. 3 of those became movies. Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption, and Apt Pupil.
I thought you were going to say Thinner.
And that was Apt Pupil was like the Nazi guy, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I saw that at the theater.
Next door Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Adolf living next door.
Yes.
But it wasn't Adolf.
I'm surprised you didn't do Stand By Me yet. I'm surprised.
That's a great one.
I'm glad we didn't, because as we were talking earlier about, movies, favorite, or whatever, some to review, I'm putting that on the fucking list.
Right.
But it's amazing you should say Goodfellas, my like all-time, I gotta be The Godfather. For me, it's The Godfather. And that it's not unlike what you had done, when you saw that, and you're in those formative years. It's like, wow, man, that's just like really cool, man. Like Goodfellas is just really cool.
It glamorized that lifestyle.
It did.
But at the same time, now that I watch it and I'm older, I see what he was doing in that movie. He's showing you it's a glamorous lifestyle, but this is where it ends up.
Yep.
You're going to be in jail. You're going to be dead.
It's like
or you're
Barry
going to be
Seal.
Witness protection. Yeah.
There you go. You go. When you mentioned Goodfellas, it was the same time that I watched back to back and then just kept watching them over and over and over again. Goodfellas, Casino,
Casino's great too.
And Godfather. Like that was just my rotation over and over and over.
Godfather I didn't see till maybe 10 years ago, believe it or not. And it was a great movie. I just had never watched it before.
1 and 2 are good. You can leave 3 out of it.
Yeah, I only watched 1 and 2, I believe. I didn't see.
You know, they redid 3.
Huh?
Say what? Say what?
I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Good old Frank Ford. Frank Ford Coppola.
Yeah, I thought he should have stopped it too.
Yeah,
because I remember 3 was pretty bad, wasn't it? Like Pacino. Pacino's the only main one in it, isn't he?
Andy Garcia.
Oh yes.
And Talia Shire does return.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Rocky from Rocky?
Correct.
Yeah,
that was Adrian.
Yeah.
Anyway, they re-released the third Godfather. Like basically, and you know what's his name? Francis Ford Coppola said, "Look, sorry, everybody, my bad. I'm going to re-release this." And so he added a bunch of shit in. He took a bunch of shit out. I have not seen it since the re-release, but it does exist. I think it's called Godfather Coda.
Oh, okay.
CODA.
Oh, speaking on this, I don't the genre right now. Raging Bull is on HBO.
Great,
It's a Turner Classic or whatever. I was watching that the other night
With De Niro.
Yes, he's fantastic in that.
Never saw it.
It's a great, when,
Raging Bull.
Rocky,
Check it out.
Rocky Marciano. Is that who
Yeah, he's
played
playing
him?
Rocky Marciano. I think that won an Oscar for something. I don't know
There
if it was
they
him
go.
or-
There they go.
Yeah.
What's that?
Every time I start talking about boxing, some white guy pulls Rocky Marciano out their ass.
Oh yeah.
He kicked Joe Lewis's ass.
Yeah. Rocky
think he said
Marciano.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. We'll do just a quick one. Let's try it. It's going to be hard. I got to think on it as it happens. All right, comedy.
Oh, I just talked about Office Space. I mean, that
is a fantastic movie.
I mean, I know it's not like it's one of those humors that maybe some people aren't like, well, there's funnier movies than that. But for me, that movie, like
when they're beating the shit out of the copier with with the rap music, like the gangster rap.
That's what it is. It's the mix of the hip, the rap, the gangster rap with these nerdy white dudes, and just the whole. And it's Mike Judge is the guy that I guess wrote
Beavis and Butthead,
and he did Beavis and Butthead. So that's probably why I love that humor, and because I love like when I was in high school, Beavis and Butthead, I thought that shit was the funniest. But Office Space, I just love it. I mean, if I had to pick a comedy, I know it might not be everybody's favorite, but like for me, that's the one.
Real quick, I think Spaceballs stands out because I still remember the day I saw that when they had the VHS and it was at a baseball party that we had. And I thought, like, this movie is the coolest thing that I've ever seen. But, I mean, there's probably other stuff that I can't think of right now, but I would say Spaceballs.
That's awesome.
How about you?
That's fantastic. I mean, I remember watching Spaceballs, and I remember loving it. I mean, I absolutely remember loving it. And I remember being, like, one of those kids that, when there's a scene in there where they had just convinced the king to give them $1 million space bucks, and they were now going to go off on their adventure and collect Princess Vespa. And Lone Star reaches over, give me paw, and Barf is and it's their own little makeshift handshake. So I was one of those dickhead kids that would, over the summer, that was the fun thing to do.
Right.
Like, hey man, give me paw.
Yeah.
Or like with the Three Amigos when they do
that was a good one.
That Macarena makeshift Macarena dance. I was one of those dickhead kids that did that shit all summer too, and thought that was the funniest thing in the world.
Or he said, mail plane. He's like, how do you know it's a mail plane? 2 little thingies.
2 little balls.
Yeah, the 2 little things.
If I had to pick one, I can't.
Yeah, it's hard.
I can't. I know that there are comedies that I will watch over and over and over and over and over again and not skip a beat, but they're oddball ones. They're like Employee of the Month, starring Dane Cook and Jessica Simpson.
Is that where they work at a restaurant?
No, they work at the Costco. They're like the equivalent of a Costco.
Okay.
You're thinking of the restaurant one with
Waiting.
Yes, Waiting.
Yeah.
Dane Cook was in that also.
But equally, and again, God damn, do I love that movie. I just love that movie. But I would say something like Nacho Libre.
Fantastic movie.
So stinky.
Which my son thought it was the movie of the year.
Of course.
Really? Nacho Libre.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Or even on that same line, Napoleon Dynamite. The same brothers.
Yeah.
But then how could I forget something like Caddyshack?
Right.
Well, see, now you're going like completely classics to new classics, to ones that are going to be timeless.
So
yeah,
it's
very hard.
It's tough for
very
me to
hard,
pick.
but all fantastic movies.
They are. But like for me, I guess maybe because I say current. It's not really that current, but Office Space is probably
a newer one, but still it's 90s.
It's 98, I think it came out in 97, 98. Then we had Office Space, or not Office, I'm sorry, Old School and all those movies with like Owen Wilson and them guys and Meet the Parents. And I mean, there was other comedies, but then you go back in the early 80s, you had like Stripes. You remember those movies?
With
like,
the cast, Saturday Night Live people. There's Bill Murray.
Yeah, there's people all the time that bring up these old 80s like comedies that I totally forgot about. Meatballs,
Bill Murray again.
One you guys reviewed before I got here, and I'm still bent that you
Porky's
did. Great Outdoors.
Great Outdoors, yes. Yep. Yeah.
There's what was the one where he was at the beach? Summer Rental.
1 hour.
Summer Rental.
Another great. Yeah. And John Candy, that guy was he was pretty damn good.
He was in a lot.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is also that's a Thanksgiving. Is that a Christmas, maybe a holiday movie?
That is a Thanksgiving movie. Because it ends with a turkey for Thanksgiving. He's
yeah,
trying to get
I know, but
they're
so close.
Right.
They're knocking on Christmas door.
But that's the beauty of this.
Yes, they were.
That's the beauty of this vintage cinema review. There's so many movies that we could do this podcast for years and probably never.
Yeah, keep them coming, guys. Like anything you can think. I mean, we haven't even got. Like I said something to my dad, and he was like, how's your radio thing?
The station, yeah.
And he was saying about like, man, what about Rambo and Predator and
all those great movies?
Like those guys are classics too now.
Yeah,
even Rocky. I mean, shit.
There are so many.
We can do 12 episodes of that.
And that's just on the movie side of things. I mean, we have the true crime stuff and all that. The movies seem to like people definitely enjoy the true crime. I get a lot of feedback on, I didn't know this, that, or the other. I didn't know about this. We did the Amish killer the other. A lot of people didn't hear about that one. Even ones that are like the Dahmer, like you said. Most people know about the Dahmer, but they really enjoyed the way that we did it. And with the movie reviews, people get real passionate about these movies, and they like to hear us review them. And but a lot, what I like is I always get a lot of people, and that's why we have the Old Dirty Mailbag. Is these people listen and then they're like, "Oh, you should have talked about this, or you forgot that." People are actually talking to us when they're listening, when they're listening, which is cool.
Yeah,
and that's really cool. And I mean,
and we're here to listen to you, and I think that's a fun for all of us, and that's the main part. Not the main part. I mean, we enjoy being here. We enjoy doing it, but it's one of the things that we enjoy hearing from you, hearing that you enjoy listening to us. I think that's a big part of it.
It's fulfilling.
It is. It definitely is. It's fun. Yeah, for sure.
And even real quick, the people that helped us out at the beginning where we had extra voices, all the ones that sat in with us and helped us out. Like we got a bunch of people that came down here and just wanted to hang out and tell us what their favorite movie was or true crime, and they helped us out a lot. So thank you.
I mean, I'll start at the top just before we get into that with a couple of shout outs. Obviously, David Afly, who gave us the theme music. I reached out to him when we were starting this, and I sent him early copies before we even posted anything or put anything out. Or uploaded anything. I said, hey, check this out. Let me know what you think. He gave me like feedback. He was real, hands-on with it, email me back and forth. Hey, I would do this. I would change this, do that. And he gave me full access to his music. So David Afly from Tsunami Experiment, big shout out to him.
There's like 20 or 30 that we can get real quick.
Yeah. Brian, buddy from work. Like I said, with the name, you guys got anybody?
Nutley.
Nutley Nick. Yeah, he's a big contributor. Always kind of, Oh, the Juice Man.
Yeah, the Juice Man.
Yeah. Juice Man was on early on. I mean, trying to think who else.
Our two buddies from Quiz Night, from Trivia Night.
Oh yeah, Leanne and Don.
Leanne and Don.
They were when we were going to trivia, and in the first few episodes, we would talk to them. And Leanne gave me the Kill for Thrill. She's like out near Pittsburgh.
Yeah, those are OGs.
Crimes. Yeah,
some OGs.
These are people from the very beginning. My buddy Corey from growing up. I remember Corey listening to early episodes. Like before we posted anything, he'd give me feedback. Hey, I would do this. I would do that. This and that. And that really helped us kind of dial into what we're doing. And obviously, I mean, there's a million other names I could go down the line, but.
So in a half a year, I think we've made a lot of changes, a lot of good changes, things towards the future. And we're looking forward to doing another 6 more months or 6 years or
6
whatever.
More months.
No, I was trying to make it towards a year. Can you get that out?
That's funny though.
Your prospects for success are vast, Matt.
Right.
another 6 more episodes, ladies and gentlemen.
And then obviously adding Zap on and open it up to a whole new audience. Like he has a lot of connections and a lot of people he knows. And I know he's working really hard spreading the word. You know, we're really trying to grow this thing. Hopefully here in 2023, this thing will compound and grow. I mean, we've done really well for only being around for 6-7 months. So we'll see where it goes. So you guys got anything else in closing?
No, just basically everything, you know, you've already said. Yeah, I definitely want to thank anyone and everyone who listens. You guys for sure, you know, started this up from the ground up, from the underground, from the basement up.
Right.
So thanks for having me on. Thanks thanks for looping me in and now including me on this. Again, thanks everybody for listening. It's wonderful.
Right. Matt, you got anything?
I appreciate the two of you. I appreciate getting a chance to come down here and shoot the shit with friends 1 or 2 days a week.
I guess most importantly, we should thank our wives for letting us do this.
Joe, yeah. Well, okay. So
yeah,
I mean,
make sure you put that on there.
Of course.
Yeah, because without them, we wouldn't be doing any of this shit. So they give us the time and
thank you for the understanding.
Most importantly,
yeah, we didn't go back to the the top 3 on any type of award. You thank your wife, you thank your God, and then you thank the Academy.
The Academy, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
I'll go in that order then.
Right. So hopefully we'll be back next week with a brand new true crime and back to the movie reviews. So we hope you enjoyed this kind of a freestyle episode, and we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the old dirty basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.